Imagine this. It's a quiet night in the desert. The sky above stretches into infinity, filled with stars older than civilization itself. Then, without warning, a light appears. It moves against the wind, faster than any aircraft, and then it vanishes. Was it a trick of the eye, a secret weapon, or something else entirely? For centuries, humans have gazed upward, asking one of the most profound questions of all time. Are we alone in the universe? From ancient cave drawings depicting strange figures, to modern military pilots capturing unidentified objects on radar, the mystery persists. But in recent years, the question has taken on new urgency. The Pentagon itself has admitted there are objects in our skies, objects they cannot explain. The truth is out there, but what if it's more complex than we ever imagined? Tonight, we embark on a journey across history, science, and human imagination. A journey that may challenge what you believe about the universe and about ourselves. Before we dive into the extraordinary, let's begin with the ordinary, at least what we think of as ordinary. The term UFO, short for Unidentified Flying Object, was first coined by the United States Air Force in 1953. It was meant to describe any aerial phenomenon that couldn't immediately be identified. But for the public, UFO quickly became synonymous with one word: aliens. Yet the idea of mysterious lights and visitors from the sky is far older than the modern military. In 1561, the people of Nuremberg, Germany, reported a celestial phenomenon of strange objects battling in the heavens. Medieval manuscripts speak of fiery discs streaking across the sky. Even in ancient Mesopotamia, carvings appear to depict winged figures descending from above. But it wasn't until the 20th century that UFOs became a cultural obsession. In 1947, a pilot named Kenneth Arnold reported seeing 9 saucer-like objects speeding near Mount Rainier, Washington. Just weeks later, something crashed near Roswell, New Mexico. At first, the military announced they had recovered a flying disc. Hours later, they retracted the statement, claiming it was nothing more than a weather balloon. That contradiction planted a seed of doubt, a seed that grew into one of the most enduring conspiracy theories of all time. Every story has two sides. Some saw Roswell as a cover-up, others dismissed it as hysteria. But one thing was clear: the modern UFO era had begun. By the 1950s and 60s, UFO sightings skyrocketed. The US government launched Project Blue Book, cataloging over 12,000 reports. Most were explained as aircraft, stars, or weather anomalies. But 701 cases remained unexplained. Television, film, and books turned UFOs into a pop culture phenomenon. From The Day the Earth Stood Still to stories of alien abductions, the line between fact and fiction blurred. And then came the Cold War, an era when every unknown object in the sky carried the weight of potential global destruction. Were UFOs Soviet technology, or something far stranger? Today, the question lingers. Despite decades of skepticism, UFOs, or as the Pentagon now calls them, UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena, remain at the center of public fascination. And in recent years, they have returned to the spotlight in ways no one expected. The modern UFO debate isn't built on rumor alone. It rests on testimony from some of the most credible witnesses imaginable: military pilots, radar operators, intelligence officials. Off the coast of San Diego, Navy pilots from the USS Nimitz Carrier Strike Group were running routine exercises. Suddenly, radar technicians reported objects descending from 80,000 feet to sea level in less than a second. Commander David Fravor, a decorated pilot, was dispatched to intercept. What he saw would haunt him. It was a white, tic-tac-shaped object. No wings, no rotors. It moved in ways that defy the laws of physics as we know them. As I approached, it mirrored my movements, then accelerated away. So fast, it was like nothing I'd ever seen. Multiple pilots confirmed the sighting. Infrared cameras captured the object. The footage, later released by the Pentagon, shows the craft rotating in midair, moving with no visible means of propulsion. The Pentagon's own admission, this was not a weather balloon, not a conventional aircraft, it was unidentified. In 2017, the New York Times broke a bombshell story. The Department of Defense had secretly funded a program called AAA-TIP, the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. The story included 3 declassified Navy videos, FLIR-1, Gimbal, and Go Fast. Each shows UAPs performing maneuvers beyond known technology. In one clip, a pilot exclaims, "There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA." Another, "Look at that thing, dude. It's rotating." For decades, official policy had been denial. Suddenly, the US government admitted the footage was real. The Pentagon's own admission, the objects were genuine, though still unexplained. These encounters are not isolated. In 1980, near a US Air Force base in Rendlesham Forest, England, multiple servicemen reported strange lights and a metallic craft on the ground. Their accounts, recorded in official logs, remain one of the UK's most famous UFO incidents. In 1986, Japan Airlines Flight 1628 reported a giant, silent craft trailing them over Alaska. The pilot described it as twice the size of an aircraft carrier. FAA radar confirmed anomalies. In 21, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence released a report reviewing 144 UAP cases between 2004 and 21. Of these, 143 remained unexplained. These are not tales from fringe believers. These are data points, official, documented, corroborated by radar, video, and trained observers. But evidence, no matter how compelling, always raises another question. If not ours, then whose? Not all UFO encounters are captured by radar or military cameras. Many come from ordinary people, farmers, teachers, families, individuals with little to gain, and sometimes everything to lose by sharing their stories. In 1961, Betty and Barney Hill, a couple from New Hampshire, reported being abducted by beings from a spacecraft. Under hypnosis, they described examinations, strange instruments, and a star map shown to Betty by the entities. Skeptics argued their account was a product of stress or suggestion, but for the Hills, the experience was real, and it marked the beginning of the modern alien abduction narrative. Since then, thousands of similar stories have emerged. Individuals describe missing time, strange marks on their bodies, and vivid memories of being taken aboard craft. Are these hallucinations, sleep paralysis, or evidence of something more? Across the world, intricate geometric patterns have appeared overnight in fields of wheat and barley. Some have been revealed as elaborate hoaxes, but others remain unexplained, too precise, too massive to have been made in hours of darkness without detection. To believers, they are messages from beyond. To skeptics, they are art projects fueled by folklore. What unites these personal testimonies is not just mystery, but trauma. Many experiencers report ridicule, isolation, and fear. And yet, they persist in telling their stories. Every story has two sides. Science demands skepticism, but human experience cannot be dismissed so easily. The question becomes, are these narratives fragments of imagination, or clues we have yet to decipher? The universe is vast. There are more stars than grains of sand on Earth's beaches. Around many of those stars are planets. Some of those planets may be like ours. The odds seem overwhelming. Life must exist elsewhere. This is the foundation of the Drake equation, formulated in 1961 to estimate the number of intelligent civilizations in the galaxy. Depending on the variables, the number could be thousands, or zero. And yet, we face the Fermi paradox. Where is everybody? If intelligent life is common, why haven't we found undeniable proof? We asked Dr. Elaine Park, an astrophysicist, for her view. I remain skeptical of UFO claims. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. But as a scientist, I can't ignore the data. Pilots are trained observers. The Pentagon's acknowledgement that some cases remain unexplained. That's worth investigating. The challenge is separating what might be misidentified human technology, atmospheric phenomena, or sensor glitches from what could truly be beyond our understanding. Alternative explanations abound: experimental military aircraft, plasma phenomena in the upper atmosphere, psychological effects of stress and perception. But none fully explain every case. The truth is out there, but what if it's more complex than we ever imagined? We've traveled from ancient myths to modern military encounters, from eyewitness testimony to the halls of science. We've heard voices of belief, voices of doubt, and voices of wonder. The evidence does not hand us easy answers. It presents us with puzzles, objects that defy our understanding of physics, testimonies that challenge our assumptions, and official reports that admit we don't know. So, where does that leave us? Perhaps the phenomenon is extraterrestrial. Perhaps it is human technology, hidden behind a veil of secrecy. Perhaps it is something stranger still, something we cannot yet categorize. But the question remains, as it has for millennia. Are we alone in the universe? If the answer is yes, then we are a fragile spark of consciousness in a vast, silent cosmos. If the answer is no, then we are not the first to gaze upon the stars and wonder. Either way, the search continues. The truth is out there, but maybe it's not what we expect. Maybe it's bigger, stranger, and more profound than we ever imagined. And so, we end where we began, with a question. When you look up at the night sky, do you see emptiness? Or do you sense that something or someone might be looking back?